all types of things. It's striking a chord, an emotional chord in your audience that allows you to be able to create inventory and get rid of inventory. One of the things that I do, that if you ever read an ad that has a large copy to it and it sounds something like this, listen to the birds while you sit sipping a refreshing beverage on your deck, calling you home. Relax in the master bedroom with is open and airy and spacious at the end of a tiring day. That's my copy. Why do I do that? Anybody have an idea? Because people don't buy logically. Where do they buy? Emotionally. What do you need to strike when you're buying and selling and creating inventory? Exactly. All right, so let's talk about it. What we want to do is create that plan. Earlier today, we told you that you were going to create a plan. Rock and I have given you a lot of information about this over and over. Understand that we need to pick the market. Deborah did a great job earlier today about where the market's hot and where it's not. We need to tap into that particular resource. What is your investment strategy? Is it wholesale, buy, fix and sell, lease option? Those are the way that you are making money in this economy at this time. And the ACTS program is another way. All right, you need to be building your cash buyers, your sellers. You need to be contacting them. For those of you that don't have a lot of money in our credit challenge, you need to get your phone out and start calling people. You got scripts. I've given you scripts. I've given you the tools that you need. I have poured my heart out, and I'm going to ask you for something in return. To become wealthy. Is that okay? Yes. Excellent. All right. Now, we're going to talk just a little bit about negotiating with buyers. We taught you a couple of techniques before about negotiating with sellers, right? Where you didn't really feel like you were negotiating. All right. When we're talking to the buyers, what we want to do is get them to commit to the price early. We want to figure out whether or not we're going to assign it or double close, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. All right. If the buyer asks, will you be assigning the contract? Tell them. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Do you understand it? Does it bother you? If they start to nibble on your price, what you should do is walk away and tell them, this property probably isn't for you. When I have one, I'll give you a call. And then delete their number. Because if they are not willing to pay you what your value is, do you want to work with somebody that does not value you? No. Exactly. All right, agree upon the price up front. And then what you do is you go to your international office to get the paperwork signed. McDonald's, Starbucks, Wendy's, right? That's international, right? Okay. What we want to do is we want to make sure that they've got cash, lots of cash. The other thing is it's got to be liquid. Hard money can close in 10 days. We like that. A line of credit, we really like that. All right. Understand that if they say that they've got cash, you want to make sure that they've got access to it. So they have to send you verification of the funds. If you don't do that, you're not asking the hard questions. If you don't ask the hard questions, can you expect a surprise? Yep. Do you like surprises? Not like that. Exactly. All right. What you want to do is get your earnest money, which is the majority of your paycheck, your assignment fee up front. Is it appropriate to ask for somebody that they need to give a $5,000 non-refundable earnest money check to you? Yes. Is that appropriate? Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. You always ask. All right. The other thing is that you may get the check for $5,000, but it'll go to the attorney. Is that okay? Yes. Definitely. Definitely. All right. The other thing is that we are marketing to them just the way that we would when we are hunting for sellers. We put out the signs. All right. Notice that we can also pick up new buyers from for rent signs. How many of you would like to be able to find a buyer that is active in the market and know exactly what kind of properties they buy? Anybody up for that? Yeah. Okay. Go to Section 8. It's called Go Section 8. www.go Section 8. What will happen is you can pull up on that. You can find the address, what the rent is, and a phone number. Is it easier than that? And you're building your buyers list? Easier than that. That's how easy it is. The internet ads we've talked about before. All right, so when you're talking to your buyers, we've got a couple of scripts in here. You can say pretty much just the same thing that you've been talking to your sellers with. And you have that script in your packet. All right, so you don't really need to worry about it. You've got your buyer profile sheet, so now you know what questions to fill in. I am going to allow you now to make your life extremely easy and simple. What did Rock say that you needed? 3 things that Rock said that you needed, and that was the only thing you really needed. Phone? Your email address. No, not a pen. No. No. You got a name. Got to have a name. All right, because people have those funky email addresses. Okay. All right. The rest of this, understand that I don't have a lot of this. I separate my buyers list into land, commercial, and real estate. Single family. That's it. Because land guys don't typically buy single family. Commercial guys don't buy single family. Sometimes commercial does buy land, but not very often. You see how that works? And those people will take you off your list if you're not giving them the right type of information. All right, so here, I'm going to make it really easy. Find the buyer, market like crazy, right? Ask what they want and fill the orders. Very interesting. But here it is. You now have a buyer. It's called Rock and Russ. What we're buying is single families, vacant or turnkey. More importantly, we're looking for decent rental areas. No war zone, all right? If the police don't go in there after dark, we don't want them, all right? They're 30 miles within Atlanta, that's wonderful. Look how easy it is. 3 bedroom, 1 bath, 1.5 bath, perfect. 1,000 plus square feet, perfect. Okay, 12%. I told you how to get that ROI earlier. It's on that sheet right there. So this is easy stuff. You've already been pumped and primed. All you have to do is fill out that lead sheet, send it to us. If it doesn't meet our parameters, we'll tell you why, send it back to you. Is that simple enough? Yes. Cash buyers. Does that make sense? Yes. Is that what you're looking for? Yes. Excellent. All right. 40,000 and below, that's okay. I am also looking at 120 and above. All right. So anything that you've got that's a decent deal, I'll look at. Rock will look at. We are in the business to make money. The reason that Rock and I spend the time training you is pretty simple. We have a belief that if you give back to people, they will give to you. Our belief system is that we have a wealth mentality, not a lack mentality. I don't believe that anybody in this room is competition to me unless you're standing at the courthouse steps with me and bidding on the same property. That's the only time. My largest competition is the person that I look at in the mirror. And if I can get rid of my conscious part of my brain, then my subconscious knows that the person in the mirror is somebody I need to love and love dearly. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to have a flippant attitude. If you're negative, get over it. If you're pessimistic, get over it. It doesn't work for you. It doesn't work for me. It didn't work for me. I had to make a change. Electroshock therapy doesn't work for everybody. All right, what we're looking for are residential detached homes. Did I happen to forget to add that we do look at duplexes and quads, 12 plexes, and 24 units? That'll work too. All right, we like them vacant. If you can't make them vacant, we will buy them. All right, I have people that are interested. Higher end retail areas, I want to stay below 500 when the property is done. I'm looking for buy, fix, and sell. All right, 40% discount off to the ARV, especially in your nicer areas, because I can afford to take some of the repairs. Does that make sense? And absorb them if I get that number. All right. Here's what's really exciting. This is the thing that just really amazes me. That you now have the knowledge, but what are you going to do?
Put it to use.
You got to put it to use. How many of you know really smart people that don't do anything? Yeah, it's amazing. They got more reasons why not than you can shake a stick at. And it's because they let the conscious part of their brain take over. If they would believe in themselves and trust what you have learned. I mean, you've seen people in the room raising their hand saying, yes, I've done this, this works. Have you seen that? You've witnessed that. And that's important because that's what the coaching and mentoring is all about. That supports that, all right? We definitely need to be starting it when? Now. Exactly, all right? So we've already talked about with starting the end in mind. By the way, this comes from Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. We have a strategy. What is your strategy? Turn to the person next to you and tell them which strategy are you going to use. The lease option, the wholesale, the buy, fix, and sell, or honey, we're moving in. All right, but wait a minute here. Do you guys have action steps? You do have the action steps. This has been a very thorough part. But aren't there some things that you'd like to learn about so you do not leave money on the table? Are there some strategies that might help you? Well, we don't have time to cover those, but there are other opportunities for you to be able to get in that in order to be able to make the kind of money that you're looking for. All right? So we need to talk about the double close just for a moment because that's part of the wholesale transaction. We've already talked about the assignment and how that works. So let's talk about the pros and cons. Here is your double closing. All right, notice that you're going to take title. When you take title, what's going to happen is you're going to get a 1099, you're going to pay closing costs, you're in the chain of title, and you get to pay the healthcare tax. The other part is that you're making lots more money, and we like that. All right, you can read the rest of it. Now, on the other side, this is the way a double closing works. First off, you go out and you find a product, a homeowner. You put a contract on it. Then what happens is you go out and you, the investor, immediately fax that contract over to your attorney. Why? They're